All right, what up? We're back on a Wednesday, and yeah, something just happened at work that upset me, and I just wanted to come on here and like read out my journal that I wrote at lunch, like in reflection of this, like of me being upset. Okay, so I hate to ask why, but God, why do I always have to be reminded of this feeling of not belonging, trying so hard to fit in and be of service to people, only to realize that they will never understand you, thinking and giving to others only to realize that they would never do the same for you. This horrible feeling of despair and emptiness, reverting back to my childhood self and innocently asking, why are people so mean to me when I'm so nice to them? This feeling of only the feeling of only existing to be the butt of a joke and the gesture for others. If my is my life a joke? Is my suffering a joke? Through suffering, I have gained this empathetic heart, this heart that is big, that all I think about is how to give to others. What is the cost of this heart? Sensitivity, vulnerability. When my heart is so big that it's protruding out of my chest, others can stab it so easily. So, in response to that, I protect it, I shelter it, I hide it away from the world. And the cost of that, though, is coldness, being a recluse, and being someone I don't recognize. My true self is the man who shows his heart. I would rather show my heart and get stabbed than not show my heart ever. That is the risk I take and the burden that I bear. But why must people stab my heart, especially the people I give the most to? So many times Judas has betrayed me. Judas has worn the skin of my best friends, my colleagues, my past relationships, my parents, my sister, and random people in passing. I guess even Jesus was betrayed, so I must accept that this is a part of the world. It doesn't make the pain hurt any less, and it doesn't make the knife go less deep. I see myself as an innocent person that doesn't want to harm anyone and is not really a threat. Well, not innocent in terms of sin, but innocent in terms of my intention with relationships with others. As a person that always looks out for others, I would imagine they would look out for me. However, another blade pierces through my heart, and I am reminded that these people don't look out for me. I'm reminded that I am the minority, and that was in response to I don't want to give too much information away. Let's just say, so I go to therapy every Thursday, right? Or not? Yeah, I go to therapy on Thursdays, and I've been in therapy since I was 17. I've been through some tough stuff. You know what I mean? Like a lot of suicidal ideation, some attempts. Like I've been through a lot. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't go to therapy for fun, right? And so, I was just talking to these people at work that are not my colleagues, or more so my friends in my life, or you know, friends by proxy, and they kind of use that as a butt of a joke that I go to therapy because like they're like, why would you have therapy in the middle of the day? Like, oh, you get to leave early on this day. Like, oh, I wish I could use that technique to get out of work. Like that type of shit. Like using my therapy, and then when they saw that I was upset, they're like, oh, why are you so distressed? Like we were just joking. And to me, it's like there are certain things you just don't joke about. And like I walked away. I just left and I went. And to me, it's like you know obviously people can I have to set explicit boundaries with people or be like I don't like when you say that, right? But there's certain things that I'm like doesn't even need to be as a conversation. Like if I knew someone in my life, let's say, which I did in the past, who would say like the N word with a hard R, to me I'm like I don't even need to have a conversation with this person and say, you know what, this makes me uncomfortable, please stop doing that. I don't need to educate this person because how can you not understand that is a wrong thing to do? Like there's like the fact that I even need to have this conversation is a problem in itself. So in my head I was like, I don't want to sit here and be like, yo, this is really like distasteful and inappropriate that like you think me going to therapy is just like a way for me to get out of work. Like I waited 4 months to get into this therapist, and like sorry it's that like, well, how does this affect you? That's like, and I know they're just busting my balls about like me having more flexible schedule than them, but that's just not something you talk about. Like you don't know what I've been through. Like you don't know that like you know like even on my 21st birthday when it hit midnight, like I was gonna call the hotline, and I called my best friend at the time instead, right? Like you don't know these things, and to think that I just do this for fun, like Like therapy is not fun. It's like it's grueling work, bro. And I want to quit a lot of times, but it's like grueling work that I have to do so I can continue to have this, you know, and push myself out of that situation where I'm recluse and like my heart gets broken and like stabbed. So I'm like gonna shelter it. Like no, it's like I have to go through therapy to like learn to forgive and like and then let understand that me as a person is so I'm a sensitive person, and I think for a long time I have tried to like masculinity myself out of that and like be so stoic and right and like essentially go against my nature. And I think in recent times I realized that my sensitivity is like a good thing. And yes, obviously the world doesn't stop because I'm feeling a certain way, but I think like I'm glad that I care so much about things and that things like my heart is out on my sleeve and I'm risking vulnerability, in the off chance that the risk of that is I get hurt, but I'm risking that and I'm proud of myself for doing that. And so I don't know, when these people said that, it's like, man, these people aren't my friends. Like the real friends, like Jamil, Daniel, my friend Fiona, my friend Camila, like my sister, like nobody would ever like joke with me about going to therapy. Like that's just something that they wouldn't joke about. In the same way I wouldn't joke about things to them that are like, serious and like, there's certain like things you just don't joke about. And like that's something that like people in my life wouldn't even like joke about that. And so, you call me sensitive or not, but like it's something like it was just really distasteful. I'm like, I don't know, I wanted to cry about it because I'm like I just came into these people this office to like check in with my friend and like see what it's going, and then it just gets turned on me. And also I was upset because one in the like I said in the journal, it reminded me of this feeling as a child. Like as a child, like my very first memory was like there was this kid at the park like when I was in preschool, and he had like all this attention from and he would like he had all these friends, and like they were and he would be dared to do stuff. So then I would like do the thing that he was doing because I'm like I'm just gonna mimic his behavior and people will like me. And they were like, no, not you. Like we don't want you to do that. Like, and I always felt like an outsider. And like through elementary school I kind of like tried to fit in. In middle school I found well, even in elementary school, like I got kicked out of a friend group from the group leader because like I called him dumb or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I was always like fighting to be a part of something. And in middle school, I found a friend group and stuff like that. But then the butt of I was still the butt of the joke, always. And like I started developing really bad internal racism, right? Because I'm Puerto Rican and Italian, but like my friends, and this went all the way through high school too, and people like not even just my friends, like people at school, it's like they knew that calling me a Mexican would upset me. And it's not like there's nothing wrong with Mexicans, great people. It's not about that. It's that I'm Puerto Rican. It's like you don't want to be called something you're not. And like it was more so like they knew it would make me mad, which is why they would do it. And then I would show them to my culture. They met my mom, and like I brought one of them to Puerto Rico with me, and they would still say that shit, right? It's like, and then they would be like, "Oh, we're just like," after I would blow up, and it would really upset me. And so even then, it's like even my best friends, it was like, I'm not a part of something. Like I'm just something to laugh about. And so like I would always like, you know, I could fit in, but it was always this performance. It was always like nobody actually saw me. You know what I mean? And like when I was like really depressed in high school, when I was like crying every night and like wanting to kill myself, like I didn't really have my ex girlfriend was there, but I had no one like looking out for me. Like none of my friends were like, "Yo, what's going on with you?" Nothing. Like, and they didn't know anything that happened. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I realized that's why I don't speak to those people anymore. No hard feelings. It's just like there's certain. I realize that the greatest boundary I have is the boundary to my presence. You know, I don't have to explain to anyone why I don't see them anymore. And you could say that's childish or not, but at a certain point, it's like, why would I even be interacting with why would I be interacting with racist people? Why would I be interacting with you know, people that are gonna like mistreat me or intentionally upset me or be racist towards me? Like, why would I even if they've grown or something like that really you know, no one really got to know me like me for me and like really see me. And so, hold on, let me restart. I know the recording's about to end. Hold on. And so yeah, that's why like at work, like I thought these people were, I've really like short, like shrunk my friend group to like people that I really thought understood me and like would like value me, and then for them for my mental health to be a butt of the joke, right? Over and it was just the way that they were talking about it was just like so distasteful to me. And I'm like, I don't know. It was just really upsetting. And so that's why it reverted me back to that feeling of like, damn, like this feeling, like the Judas, how Judas betrayed. It's like Judas has to, maybe I've been the Judas for other people. I feel like there's times where maybe I've betrayed. There's a big ass hang out my hand. I've been the Judas for people, of course, but also I've had so many Judases in my life betray me so many times, like so many times, and betrayal emotionally or whatever it is. I've had people betray me, and I don't know. I just like it's a shitty situation, and I have really people in my life that love me now, but like I thought these, like, you know what I mean, and it was just kind of like this remembrance, like I always look out for people. I've gotten people like jobs. I've gotten, I'm always looking out for my friends, the people like that are in my life. I'm always looking around for them, like, oh, how, this would be good for you, or this, like I'm always looking for opportunities for other people, and like a lot of times I put myself on the back burner, and I'm trying to learn how to like that I'm the most important person in my life, like that for me, for myself, like I should treat myself as such. But it's every now and then when things are going well, I get this remembrance that like I'm looking out for a lot of people, but like not a lot of people are looking out for me besides like the core people that I talked about, you know what I mean? Like even colleagues like that I've like vouched for, I've now acknowledged that they kind of maybe not vouched for me, or like maybe not in that sense, but you know what I'm saying? Like I realize that like you know even small things, when people do small things or microaggressions or like being passive aggressive, in my head I'm like, dude, I would never do that. Why are people doing this to me? And I know being nice and putting your heart in the sleeve like makes it so you're slightly a pushover, but I don't want to go on the other end of that, which is just coldness, because that's not who I am. I don't want to be cold and recluse, and I don't want to be that type of person, because that's not me. And so I have to risk that, and I have to risk being a pushover, but not really a pushover where people just kind of use my niceness and they abuse my niceness. But I'm not going to turn, evil, right? Like it's just like I have to accept that this is just going to happen, is that like I'm a minority of the people that are really like looking out for people, and like you're like I feel like I'm like an emotionally intelligent person or self-aware. Like even like when I was talking about the other night of like, yo, like I don't want to leave like Julianne's dad to clean up this whole mess by himself. It's gonna take him hours. Like let's do this. And like all these other people like just took leftovers and left the house. Like even that to me, I'm like, you know, I was like, Julian, you could have a conversation with these people being like, you should clean. But like in my head, I'm like, why do you even need to have that conversation, right? And I think one of the things Julianne's, therapist said about setting boundaries is like, yeah, people can't read your mind, right? And that was her point. Like you could, people aren't gonna, you can implicitly set a boundary. Like let's say you're like, your roommate hasn't done the dishes in days, and so you just refuse to do the dishes until they do it, you know. But your roommate, maybe they're just not a dish person. They don't know that it's upsetting you. That's one thing. But I think the fault in the therapist thinking is that there's some conversations that don't need to be had. When you acknowledge that someone is a certain type of person that is like a self-centered person, or like you realize that this person is self-centered, or that they're not really conscientious of others, and they're not really an empathetic person. It's like what conversation am I going to have with this person to make them understand? If someone in this day and age still thinks it's okay to like say the N word with a hard R, like why would I even why would I even try to have a conversation with this person? And I think in that way I'm not like Jesus, right? Where like Jesus is going to talk to anyone. He's going to try to heal all people. But like for me, I don't know. Like I guess that's a fault on me. Is that it's just like sometimes I hold grudges and sometimes I forgive, but can't forgive. But also, I set that hard boundary that is my presence, and like being able to like even have my time is my greatest boundary. Um, and so yeah, it was just kind of a sad day. I was like, damn, it's kind of fucked up. Like I don't know. Anyways, I'm really happy. My friend Fiona, she's like, I talk to her like every 4 months, and she's like someone I look up to, because she's like this, she's very she's Christian. Her dad's a pastor, but she's kind of like you know came back to Christ after a while, and she living her best life. And so I talked to her from time to time, and she watched both my Job videos, and she's like, you've inspired me to go back and open and read the book of Job. So I'm glad that like if someone were to watch my videos, they could get something out of it. Like it was meaningful. So anyways, there's an ant crawling on my camera. I got to get that off. But guys, girls, gays, queer, they, them, Caesar. everyone and anyone have a blessed rest of your Wednesday. I will catch you guys on a Thursday. I'm excited to go to therapy tomorrow. But anyways, toodaloo.